watching the 2024-25 SCAC Swimming and Diving Media Days. Today, we're taking a dive into the Austin College men's and women's swimming and diving program. Roos will be led as they head into the season. Guidance new head coach Lauren Olivier, along with leadership from senior Alex Lai on the men's program and junior Lola Barcus-Schafer on the women's side. And coach Lola, Alex, thanks so much for joining us today.
Of course. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Coach, we'll open up with you. You returned to Sherman to take over as the head coach of these two programs there at Austin College, a program that's certainly dear to you, having swum as a Roo, an alum, and a program record holder within this group. Just take me through kind of your excitement coming back to Sherman, being back a part of this program, and what you're looking forward to most as these seasons get underway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited. Obviously, I'm a very young head coach in the NCAA, but I think I do bring a lot to the table, especially as my experience here as a student athlete, especially within the Division III, really understanding that balance within academics being like our main focus, and then sports kind of coming in a little bit on that second hand, but also influencing them. Knowing that it is a choice that they make every single day to show up and put in their best effort. And so far, it's been going great. Their effort has been phenomenal. I'm super proud of everybody on how they've kind of just grown from the end of last season and how that ended with an unfortunate sudden passing of our past coach. And then kind of just taking the reins on this year and kind of having a great start so far.
Alex, coming into this your senior season, I know it's a big year for you. Just sort of take me through your mindset as you approach this senior year. Is there some urgency maybe coming out of that thought process? And just, how has Coach Olivier done as far as that transition? And from a student athlete standpoint, what are you excited that she's brought to the table?
Well, yeah, it's definitely a surreal feeling that my head coach now is one of my former teammates. But I think one of the best things about that is that because she has that experience with all of us, it allows someone to understand the growth of being a student athlete and what we all have to go through in our daily lives. I think she understands us on a total different level than most coaches I've had in the past. She's able to connect with us and be more sympathetic and accommodate for things that we may need. It's definitely a different experience, but it's something that I really want to embrace and make a good year for the rest of my teammates as well.
Well, the start of the year is always exciting. Getting back in the pool with your teammates for the first time. What do you love most about kind of the start of a new season? And individually, what are you looking forward to most here as you get prepared to go through your junior year?
I think the most exciting part is definitely meeting all the new teammates. We had a lot of newcomers come in, transfers, freshmen, and they bring such like a vibrant energy to the team that may need to be picked up from last season because it ended in such a tragic way. And so they really brought in like this new energy and this like really good foundation we can keep building on. And then personally, I'm super excited to just be in the water and get some good times and just keep swimming and bonding with the teammates.
Coach, Lola talks about kind of establishing that foundation. What's been your message to the group, Coach, just as you've sort of taken over and started to put your fingerprints on this program? Obviously, as you talk about it, it's something that you're very familiar with. Know a lot of the athletes still. So, what's been your message early on as you sort of start to, as I say, put your fingerprints and establish your foundation here in year one?
Yeah, so one of my biggest kind of messages for the team is that team first mentality. Although we understand, or I understand that swimming is a very individualized sport, at the end of the day, we have very early morning practices and sometimes doubles every day. And there's a lot of outside pressure going into that as well. So I try to remind them, like, even though like you are on your own, in your own head a lot of the times, you still have about 20 other people backing you up 100%. So one thing that I like to do within this is we have this thing that starts off our season called Roo Rally Weekend. And it's basically like a weekend long team training and team bonding that kind of starts off our season of them understanding that like, yes, they made that decision for themselves to join, but also like, let's look up. Let's maybe not look at the bottom of the pool all the time. Let's look up, look around, and notice how much support we have in the pool itself. So that's been one big thing is that team first mentality, and it's like everybody is here for each other as well.
Alex, you're coming off a really strong ending to your junior season, closing out the year in style at the SCAC Championships, multiple top 8 finishes. I'm interested, in closing the year out to your junior season in that manner. How much confidence did that give you individually coming into this senior year, and what have you continued to work on as a swimmer to continue to grow that confidence this summer through this offseason heading into the senior season?
Yeah, last year definitely boosted my confidence a lot. It felt like I had another breakout year. And then following that, me and a bunch of other teammates would come together. We would work out really hard, create new programs, challenge each other in physical weaknesses we had to work on. Coming into this season, I really want to keep that same mentality where we can just keep pushing each other in ways where we're not as good at, and then just keep going for pushing our boundaries into something where we didn't even expect we could reach.
And Lola, I'm interested, just, kind of take me through a team vibe check. What's it like with the group? How have the newcomers started to integrate themselves within this program? How excited, has the group been to get back in the water? And what are some things you've worked on individually to continue to grow your game as well heading into this season?
Team vibes are good. As a junior, it's my third year on the team, and it's, I can say confidently, the best team we've had so far. Definitely, like, with everyone's friends, everyone's like always pretty much in a good mood. We're all pushing through together. I think we've all kind of like, whenever we do get in like a little bit of like a bad mood or like we're annoyed or whatever, we just kind of fall back on the we're all here for a reason. We're all here for each other. Like, we choose to be here. Like she said, we choose to be here. Definitely getting out of my head. It's really easy as a swimmer to get in your head about things, about like times you're not getting, about how you feel, about what homework you have, and it's really easy to get in your head and get distracted. And so I think dialing in that focus, I've been trying to dial in and just remember like taking one thing at a time, one practice at a time, and then that will eventually lead to improvements in time.
Coach, it's been fun to hear the athletes talk about their excitement for the season and the start of the year getting underway. I'm just interested from your perspective, tell us a little about these two groups. Tell the fans what you started to learn about these two teams, maybe some of their personalities that you've gotten to enjoy, and what are some things that maybe you've seen from them that gives you confidence that this season is certainly turning in the right direction and has a chance to be a special one going into the year?
Yeah, we have a tons of different types of personalities. We have some very kind of secluded, more reserved people, and then we have people that are a lot more kind of outgoing and, more on the forefront of the leadership that you typically see. I think what I'm most excited is seeing how well we develop throughout the season, especially because we do have a very young team. Alex being our only senior, Lola being one of our few juniors. We do have a lot of returners coming next year. So I'm really trying to build on that and really focus, like, yes, focusing on this year, but also for future seasons as well. Like, where can we get the most development in?
Finally, as we wrap up with our two student athletes, as you've had conversations with some of the other teammates and leaders within your groups about some of the goals and expectations coming into this year, what have those conversations looked like? And ultimately, what do you both see as being key in order to accomplishing those things heading into the season?
Oh, we've had plenty of those. We love to think of different relay combinations and what strokes we can do to break all of our records on the board. We think about what we should do at practice so that we can train to be like insanely good at our best events and then potentially get those records off the board as well. We just love talking a lot about swimming. So
I think on the opposite side of that, the non-swimming side, we've been working a lot about our mentality. And I know we've mentioned it quite a lot this interview, but it really is so easy to get in a bad mental state when you're swimming like so much. So we've really been working on relying on each other, knowing that there's always someone there for you, even when it may not feel like it. And even when it's hard to reach out, there's always a swimmer who can help you. And so I think the swimming aspect of it, coupled with now the mentality and getting our heads straight, is really going to improve our season this year. I'm super excited.
And finally, coach, as we wrap up with you, obviously, coming into this season, it's exciting. You can hear the excitement on both athletes and, from you as well. And so, you only get that one chance of that first year. So as you kind of have taken some inventory about what this season could look like as it unfolds, what are some things that you're hoping kind of play out for these groups? What do you see as, a successful season for these two teams heading into this year?
For a successful season, I mean, obviously we would love to break some records, and I don't doubt that that's going to happen whatsoever. I think all of my athletes are very determined and committed to doing those goals. But I think what I personally see is just the overall team dynamic. I think we both kind of reiterated it before, but like especially with how long our season is, it's really easy to get that burnout and to kind of just, like I see them at practice every single day. Like we don't need to hang out after, but it's like, no, like we do, because we do go to swim meets and we will spend the night with each other on overnight trips. So really just seeing like the team culture and how that develops, especially at swim meets and stuff, making sure everybody's cheering each other on, and then also being good sportsmanships for other teams too. That's one thing that I've been excited about because it's been really good this year at our first meet against Ozarks and Hendricks. So I'm super excited. We have the Hendricks Relay and Classic coming up next weekend. So I'm kind of just pushing and looking forward to that and hoping that that all goes well too. So.
Austin College head men's and women's swimming and diving coach Lauren Olivier, along with leadership from senior Alex Lai on the men's side and junior Lola Barcus-Schafer on the women's side. Coach Alex, Lola, thanks so much for joining us today, and best of luck as you head forward throughout the rest of the year.
Awesome.
you.
Thank you.
you.